Disclaimer. This video, like all videos featured on this channel, is definitely intended for mature audiences. This video is likely to contain profane language. Content is inappropriate for minors. Video is not for kids.
Welcome to the Dr. Greenthumb Show. Lord of mercy. How you doing?
Yes. Some people. Here you go. Send dope. You need one, Rick?
No, I ain't
right.
smoking yet.
I bet. There you go, Les. All right, it's the Dr. Greenthumb Show live on YouTube, Twitch, Discord, and our home site, www.brealtvcontest. Welcome to it. I am Dr. Greenthumb. We have a special guest today. He's been on the the evolution of this show. You know, he was on like probably some of the first things we did as either the Dr. Greenthumb Show or podcast or something like that. But it is the legendary Freeway Ricky Ross up in here with us today.
The one and only.
The one and only.
Thank you.
Word up.
Word up.
To be back, man.
Yes, sir.
I was wondering when y'all was gonna call me again. I was like,
Oh man, we've been waiting to get you back up in here, man. We also
well,
have.
that's one of the reasons I be pounding them streets.
That's right.
If you pound the streets, they gonna call you back.
You've been working now. I know.
Yeah.
We also got the legendary Psycho Les
Yes.
up in here.
Cheers, man. Hell yeah. Ricky.
Word up.
Psycho.
You got the good light today, man. It's all right.
Yeah, you know.
It's all right. Up in the treehouse, Bolton Blombo, Bra, and the Dominator. What's up?
We're doing good up here, B. How's everyone at the table today?
Everybody is good. And also up in the nest, we got Tracy Eddy.
I would have bet money that was going to be my intro today. There'll be more on that, but I already knew it was coming. All right, good.
It's all good. My
Let's
man,
keep it moving.
my man Trace up in the house.
Thank you.
With snacks in the building. Yeah, he's splashing out.
Yeah.
Word up. We also have the illustrious one, Son Doobie, in the house.
What up, y'all? What's up, everybody? Word up. I'm missing, and just to be here with Freeway Ricky Ross, man, that's legendary, bro. That's all I gotta say, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you, B.
All right.
You guys, word.
And we have the brocha himself, El Perro Loco Sandog.
Yeah, good to see everybody, man. My man Rick. Been listening, hearing stories about you since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like good to meet you finally. You know,
No doubt.
Word up.
Well, we've been doing the same thing. I've been listening, hearing y'all, so all these years, and that's how I walked them yards.
Yeah,
that's right.
We walked them yards, watching them videos, and just moving to the groove.
yeah.
Heck yeah.
I mean, you've come a long way, sir. You know what I'm saying? Now an author of 2 books.
Yes.
How does that feel, man? Like to
come, I was always in special ed in school, man. I was, if somebody would have told me that I was going to be an author or I was going to be using words and writing to take care of myself,
Right.
I've been like, you a damn fool.
right?
Wow.
Yeah. I always thought that my way out of the ghetto was going to be through sports. I without a shadow of a doubt, I knew it would be sports. Like, if you get out the hood, it's going to be sports. And
Because that's sort of before music came along for some of us. That's the only thing that was really available, whether you played football, baseball, basketball.
Absolutely.
What was your sport?
Me, I played everything. I played basketball, football, but as we got older, size started to have a difference. So when in junior high school, when all the coaches came down to the junior high school scouting and stuff, they kept looking over my head, like, hey, we want that guy right there. And I was like, well, what about me? And I started playing tennis. I fell in love with tennis and got pretty good. I made All-City. Went to LA Trade Tech Junior College and played there, made All-Conference. But tennis takes some money, and not having the education to go to a major college, really hindered my opportunity of making it in tennis.
Tennis is fun though.
It is. I'm going as soon as I leave the show.
Love tennis.
So you still play?
With my babies. I got two pros I'm raising right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they play every day.
That's a lot of training, man, because it's twitch muscle, like to be able to shift.
Yeah, but it's the greatest
court.
cardio they say that you can do.
Yeah.
How old are the babies?
11 and 12.
Oh, so they're right there in that age. You can coach them.
Yeah. Well, they don't let me coach them. They don't. I can't tell them nothing, right? I have to pay this guy and let him tell them. Hey,
funny how that works, huh?
Hey, tell him to do this here.
That's crazy, man. But that's it. It's something you could actually pass on, but they don't want to receive it. They'll receive it from somebody else.
Yeah. As long as they don't know you told him to tell them.
Right.
Daddy don't never know nothing.
Yeah.
Like, Dad, you don't know nothing. But it's fun, though, just to I have 8 kids, maybe 9 altogether, and to actually see these 2 grow, when I left the streets the last time, my babies was like 5 years old. So to get out and now to actually get to see them go and, get to go to high school and
interact and do the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just, it's like
a beautiful thing.
Invaluable, man. Like, no other place in the world I'd rather be than on the tennis courts with them, watching them, go through their struggles. And you know how young people are. They think they know it. Like, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Just like we did.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like that. It doesn't matter how much knowledge a person might be trying to give to you. You just there's a point where you're not ready to receive it.
Exactly.
You got to get past that and be like, eventually the thing happens like that.
And then as a dad, you got to try to be patient too, like let them go through some of that, because you be like, man, you can't get this here. And it's frustrating sometimes. But, what I try to do is I try to be, like, hey, you was like that too. Your mama said your head was hard as a rock. So I try to just have that balance with them and be somebody that they have confidence in. First of all, to know that I'm not really gonna judge you. I'm not really judging you.
That's everything.
Right. And that they had the confidence to come to me when they have problems or when it's something that they're trying to figure out.
Yeah, I mean, kids need guidance, and usually people ain't there for it. And they got to get it on their own. You know what I mean? And that's when trouble starts.
That's when they wind up in the streets. And the homies have them.
A lot of us went through that.
Yeah.
Lack of guidance.
Yeah. Well, I can only thank my mom for being so strict, because I can remember when I was around 10 or 11, I was like, man, I'm gonna be a Crip.
That's about that.
Yeah.
About that time.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a Crip.
11, 12.
And she was like,
No. My mom was one of the ones. Y'all can call the police if you want to. You going to school with whip marks on. I'm whooping you with the telephone card.
Ow.
Yeah. So you going to school tomorrow? You got whips on and everything.
Don't be like that.
Yeah, it wasn't like it is now. So. When she said nah, she meant nah. So, I had to straighten up. And then luckily I started playing tennis at around 13. And when I came back to the hood, after my tennis career was over and I'm back in the hood, I was 18, 19 years old. And I could think a little bit, like, me and him went to school together. You mean that's your enemy?
Yeah.
So, I just couldn't understand how dudes who had grew up together was now fighting with each other.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
People went to school, played sports together, and,
was cousins. I knew some cousins,
yeah.
that one set of cousins stayed in the Jordan Downs and one stayed in Nickerson Gardens, and they fought.
And that was the difference.
Yeah.
The geography, right? Like,
that was it.
The block you lived on.
Yeah.
You know, and you could went to school. This could have been your teammate on any one of them sports you played at school, but because you lived on different blocks that claim different things,
Man,
it's crazy how that
That's
works.
crazy.
Because it definitely happened. That was the norm.
Yeah,
A lot of these dudes knew each other.
absolutely. And now it's so out of control, you know, where now it has imported to. I was just in New Jersey Saturday. I did a smoke shop in New Jersey Saturday, and they got Crips. They got Crips in New Jersey. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Crazy.
You're right. That's
What did you think when you saw that? When all of them Crips out there?
well, it's amazing at the power that LA has over the rest of the world.
And-
You know, not just South, not just New York, but the whole world. You know, now we got Crips and Bloods
Everywhere.
just everywhere. So we had tremendous power. I just feel that it was channeled in the wrong directions. You know, it could have been
Right.
organized and channeled to where it could have made the world a better place instead of a worse place. And we having some of the problems that we having now.
Yeah. That definitely that there could have been like a thing to, you know, a way of making things better for sure.
Yeah.
You know, than what it is right now. Because what it is right now is like, you know, we thought we was in the Wild West back then. It's crazier now.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Because it's easier to find someone, you know.
Yeah.
The way people go on with, you know, through the social media and all that stuff, they don't give a goddamn.
Nah.
You know, and people get got just through that because you let your guard down and you're like posted something like, yo, I'm right here, and then all of a sudden the cats you got beef with are like right there.
Yeah, we done seen that too many times in the last year.
Yeah.
You know, people getting killed or shot, you know, just from showing where they at, where they located.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's terrible. You know, social media is supposed to help us, but in some ways it increased the dumb shit that we had already been experiencing.
Yeah, man. It's amplified.
Amplified. That's the correct word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm just out here, man, just trying to show the guys that even if you come from the worst part and your life started off rocky, you know, we can change that shit up, man. We can flip the script. You know,
Yeah.
we can literally change our destinations. You know, you going here, this is where you plan on going, but if you find out you're going the wrong direction, turn around.
Yeah. What you got?
I think people just need to start thinking more about the moves they making and before they make them. You know, it's like playing chess. You got to think. You can't just, you know,
3 or 4 moves
they
ahead.
know the consequences. Like if I do this, man, this is what's gonna happen. You know,
These
realize
kids don't even think about consequences no more.
That's what I'm saying.
No.
Yeah, they just
But they need to. That's what I'm saying.
absolutely.
Everybody's trying to figure out how to get money, right? That's
Yeah, but you know, keep it safe. I know plenty of people who's getting money. They was keeping it safe though. They wasn't killing people, and you know.
well, yeah. See, that's the thing, though. There's folks that, you know, they want to get money like in a way that they ain't harming nobody or whatever. They, you know, trying to figure out like a hustle, whatever. But there's the wolves.
Yeah, wolves
That
is always
they don't
out.
want to do nothing but wait for you to get your money and then go get your bag.
Yeah,
And then you protecting your own thing too. You know, they come through. You gotta, you know,
Yeah.
turns.
it puts you in a bad position.
Yeah.
It really puts, you know, the guy who's really out here trying to do the right thing. It puts him in a bad position because now
Exactly.
he has to jeopardize everything that he's worked for and created to protect from the wolves.
Yeah. It's crazy times out, like in many places right now in terms of that. You know, you got to watch out like that. I mean, the news was like scaring the shit out of people. Damn, they got me. The news.
You got to explain to Ricky why you
What
know,
that is right there, yeah.
what just
I
happened.
just, you know, cursed right
Curse.
there.
You ain't supposed to
yeah.
curse.
Well, for the first 30 minutes, you know, it's a challenge. with that. But anyway, like the news was all about that. Like every other day, they were talking about a story like that, you know, that dudes would the people would get followed home, and all of a sudden a home invasion, or they get robbed outside of their house, and all of that. You know, like to show that people are getting targeted, right? That cats are going out of their way, like thinking of different ways to get to where you're at, to jack you and things like that. And I mean, they kept people on their toes out here with that.
The media ain't helping either.
No, they don't. But I mean,
promoting all that violence, that's not helping.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to at least know that this is happening so that you can adjust.
Right.
And you can be aware
no
be aware of your surroundings and before you go in and out of anywhere, you know, if you're that person, you know what I mean? Like even with dispensary owners, man, they had to watch out because people were trying to follow them cats home.
No, they were. You're right. I got hit, you know, with my brand. They really set my brand back during the pandemic. You know, they broke in the company that was doing my bagging and my pre-rolls, and they took all my shit.
Yeah. And that's
crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, there was like a crew of dudes that was hitting different cultivations. You'd see them on their security cams and stuff like that. I mean, you know, I think 1 or 2 made the news.
Yeah, the guy in the Rolls Royce. There was some guys driving a Rolls Royce doing it.
Yeah. And I'm just saying, there's so many cats out there taking their chances like that.
Just last week over Cookies on Melrose, they got hit.
Yeah, Cookies on Melrose got hit.
Just last week.
Wow.
They got hit for some inventory and cash, right? Something like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yo, Ricky, you good?
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Let me know.
I didn't see it.
Hey, so like,
I gotta go to tennis practice today.
All right.
how long did how long did it take to write the first book?
It took me 6 months. I did the first one when I was in the pen.
Yeah.
I still had my life sentence without the possibility of parole, and I was sitting there and I was thinking, I was like, wow, you may not never see another person under the age of 18 again. And I was like, well, you got so many messages that you would like to deliver to them. And this was during the time that they were executing Tookie Williams.
Right.
And I didn't know Tookie personally, but I had seen Tookie before, you know, at the park and so forth. So when they were getting ready to execute him, I felt so closely related to that story because when I used to see Tookie at the park, had I had the opportunity to hang out with Tookie, I would have hung out with him. You know, I would have been there.
Yeah.
And when they were getting ready to kill him, I was just thinking like how close I would have been to being whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I could have been there with him when he did whatever.
For sure.
Right.
Or
Easily.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And when I saw that he had wrote a book and his book was nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize, I said, wow, what a change.
Yeah.
You know, to go from this guy who was supposedly, because I never saw him do a crime or nothing and never seen him beat nobody up or none of that, but just the reputation that he had.
Yeah, his reputation.
To go from there to now he's writing a book on Crippin' so that young kids can read that book and learn what Crippin' was all about and how it started and you know, just the insight. And I was like, wow, why don't you do a book for the kids who think about selling drugs?
Right.
And that's how my book came about. And I just felt that
to give that insight.
What an insight. You know, now you can make a logical decision. You know, you're not just coming up with a decision out of the air. You know, you can actually pick up a book and say, okay, from start to finish, more than likely this is how it's going to play out for you. And it took me like 6 months when I was in the pen. You know, we was doing like 4 hours a day. You know, because you know you get what they call writer's block, where you just, you know, you can't remember shit. And I did it for, and then when I got out, I got with Kathy Scott, who was the editor, and she made it. 'Cause, you know, I just had a bunch of yellow paper. Well, you don't know. You ain't been in there, but those yellow pads. I had a bunch of notes on yellow pads, and I was doing this day and that this day, and she took it and made sense out of all of it. You know, put it all together and made it a book.
Nice.
Me and her did that for about 3 months once I got out. So altogether, I say like 9 months.
And she would ask you questions, right? And you
yeah. Well, she would get my notes and she would be like, "Man, you said such and such this date," and you know, because I tried to do everything. I wanted to put the price of the dope in there, what I was paying for it, who I got it from,
details. All that.
I use real names because everybody's past the statute of limitations. You know, there's only 7 years for statute of limitations. So a couple people got mad at me. You know, even though they had got out of the pen, did they 15, 20 years, and they got out of the pen. Man, you put my name in the book, you used my whole name. I was like, man, I asked you, could I do it? You don't remember we was in the pen.
That's great.
So you know, I felt that that our kids deserved it.
Yeah.
You know, I felt they deserved it. You know, I talked about how I wanted to be a Crip, you know, I just tried to, you know, put my thoughts, you know, what I saw as a young man coming, as a kid, you know, as a 13-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old, you know, just what I saw in the game, you know.
Yeah.
Basically letting them know why you made your decision and that these are the risks you take making a decision like that.
Correct.
So what are you telling them to do? Like play sports or go work?
I didn't tell them.
Be family.
I didn't tell them what to do. I felt that if we give our kids the information, they can make a logical decision. I don't think that people necessarily need to be dictated to.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I think that if we put them around information and they get to see the results of certain things, then they'll make a logical decision. You know,
you can't force it into people. You can let them feel it,
and that's the same way I'm teaching my kids in tennis.
And you know what? There's two types of mentalities when it comes to that whole thing, right? There's the person that are on the fence, like they don't know what else to do. Like maybe they come from broken homes, family situations, messed up, or maybe lack of opportunity, right?
Most of our people got lack of some opportunities,
right? And then there's the others that like they totally want to do that. They know the risk. They know there ain't nothing for them over here because of the lack of opportunities. They ain't even gonna try. They're just like, this is what we gotta do. And it's harder to get to them because like they already have this mentality where there's nothing else. And it starts with that. Like they gotta believe there is something else. But it's harder to convince.
Well, that's called hope.
Yeah.
What you talking about is hope.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Without hope, there's dope.
Right.
No hope, dope.
Right. and it's trying to break through to them because the people on the fence you could convince all day because they want to be talked out of it. You know, like they know there's something else, but like they don't know what. Right. And if you guide them, they're not gonna touch that. They ain't gonna try to go there because they know the risks. But it's the ones that like they feel like they got no hope.
Right, that's what I was. I was sitting on my mama's porch, and I had 2 nickels to rub together, and I don't know where I'm gonna get 2 nickels from. And my options were you know, like, am I gonna rob somebody? Am I gonna go steal a car? You know, how am I gonna eat tomorrow? You know. And like the hyenas, you know, the hyenas when they get too hungry, they want to eat the lion.
Yeah, they do.
You know, so we got to give our people hope, man. We got to reach down in ourselves and figure out how do we come up with hope for all.
And there's a lot of different opportunities these days. You know, not just sports, you know, and music and stuff like that, but like you see these kids coming up gaming now. Like we were talking about this the other day. Gaming is one of the biggest paying out industries. Like if you're a professional gamer, I mean, these kids get paid to play, man. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
The checks that they get, especially in the tournaments. If they win tournaments, they get paid. So like in the time we came up, there wasn't so many opportunities, you know what I mean? But like now there are.
All kind of hustles.
There's all kinds of ways. It's just you got to like sort of educate them and sort of help navigate them to those ways, not necessarily forcing, because that never works, but like just sort of a slight nudge. Hey, look,
try
they
this.
getting paid over here doing this.
Just throwing ideas in their head.
Yeah,
Boom.
just throwing ideas, planting seeds, because that's what it's really like, planting positive seeds, and if you could see it and believe it, you could manifest it.
I like how you said it, B. I remember a time how we were raised, the kids that got into negativity, when they got back into the system of things, and trying to do something positive, it was mostly for the community.
Right.
And we had the youth that would just do stuff for their community. I don't see that anymore. You got anything to say, like Rick, like, as far as the youth, like to encourage, the youth, as far as us growing up, is there any advice to the youth that you could give them as far as doing things just for their family or just doing something positive?
Well, it makes you feel good when you help other people.
Right.
I mean, it should. Some
That's
people,
what I'm saying,
they just, they just grumpy and
Numb.
They don't want to hear it.
But
Man, crazy, I know.
If you're able to assist somebody in their struggles, it gives you a feeling inside that you can't get from nothing else. But we as because we becoming the seniors, we becoming the people who gonna run the city pretty soon. Those old ones, we have to get rid of their ass.
The way out.
I see.
Because they believe in locking them up, throwing away the key, and I believe in an ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure. So if we set up a system ourselves, we start to set up to where we take that money that they're spending on penitentiaries and like to keep a guy in maximum security probably costs the government $200,000 a month. To keep this guy in prison, and you could send him to college for $30,000 a year. Or you could just give them a job, saying, look, we're going to give you a job making $3,000 a month. They'd be lined up. I guarantee you right now, you put an ad in the paper, say you got jobs making $3,000 a month.
That'll be good.
And training, you'll have a line around the corner.
Easily.
But the people who are running this country, they're not thinking like that. For them, it's better to go and create jobs in a rural area for some community that don't have any jobs and let them warehouse our kids. And we have to put in our kids and let our kids know that, no, we're not going to warehouse, but we're not going to be out here killing and taking from each other. There's plenty to go around. Our government destroys tons and tons of food every year because our farmers are growing too much food. Wow. There's not a shortage of food,
Wow.
Big time.
And I think that once we get them to understand that there's no shortage, that there's plenty to go around, but the people who are in charge are hoarding it so that they can we keep fighting.
Wow.
And they keep making money.
And Rick, are you finding that more and more frequent that you're running into, I'll use the term, the politics and those problems as well?
Absolutely. I know that there's so much politics around the whole movement of us becoming more unified. They don't want us to become unified. They would rather for us to be separated than together, because the together we are, then the more power we have, and the further we'll get.
Oh yeah, I'll vote for you. So
I don't want to. I don't want to be
Ricky
the president.
for president.
I don't want to be the president, but I would like to have a say in how the president is running, the country.
Yeah, you should be able to.
And I think we all should, and we should all let them know that there's certain things that, like way they was doing with drugs. You sell 2 ounces of crack cocaine and you had 2 prior convictions, they give you a life sentence without the possibility of parole. And then they turn around and another person could get caught with 500 kilos of powder cocaine and he get 10 years. You know, it just
Yo,
didn't
back
make
in the
sense.
days when the cops would take all these drugs from people, what you think they was doing with them?
Oh, they should plant them on me.
Put them back. That's what I'm saying, you know.
They put them in my girlfriend's house and
They
say I left them.
They got to be making money off that.
Yeah, they used to plant drugs. I've had drugs planted on me multiple times.
Crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
you know, I'm like, the only way drugs was in there is she started using drugs, because I know I wasn't using, so there wasn't no reason for no drugs to be there. And you know, the police come in and say, "Oh, we found a kilo in there."
Damn.
They was constantly trying to violate you.
All the time. I mean, it became so bad that it was better for me to go to a place where, if you got caught with a little drugs, they give you 100 years. But my philosophy was, at least I'll be going to jail for something I did, and not going to jail for something that I had nothing to do with.
Right.
You know, at least let me touch the drugs. If you're gonna charge me with it, let me touch it.
You think it was because you knew too much
You know what?
that they just kept like trying to violate you?
They got frustrated, you know, because they couldn't put their hands on me. And you know, some people say it was because of the people I was working with, you know.
Right.
I thought it was because I was being smart, you know. I learned, you know, a lot of lessons from the hood on how to maneuver.
Right.
But it probably was a combination of all those, you know.
Yeah.
Danilo being able to tell me, hey, don't go over there this time, you know, night, you know, leave that alone. And then the police raided the place that night.
Right.
You know, so
Him being able to give you some insight every now and then.
Exactly. So probably a combination, you know, of both. And you know, some of the things I came up with, you know, I was like, I ain't keeping no dope in the house. I put dope in the car.
Right.
You know, and put the car down the street in front of the neighbor's house. You know, just stuff like that did,
Yeah.
you know.
It was rarely around you.
Never around me.
Yeah.
Listen, if it was around me, I was selling it. Somebody was coming to pick it up. You know, I didn't ride with drugs. You know, the first time, because when I first started selling drugs, I was really, really a novice. You know, I was a tennis player, square, never used drugs, never drunk beer, never smoked a cigarette. So I was what they would call a square today.
Right.
And I can remember when I first started, I had like 2 or 3 rocks in my pocket, and the police pulled me over. And they was patting me, and I felt them when they patted the rocks, and my eyes went like, and he went on. He didn't know what it was. So
this is before they knew.
This was before they knew.
And how old were you at that point? What would you say?
19, maybe 20, probably 20.
Wow.
They're looking for a knife or a gun, most likely.
Oh, PCB.
Oh yeah.
You know, the little bottles.
Yeah, the little bottles.
You know, he smelled my hands. You know, he smelled the hands, see if they had that PCP smell. So I passed that test, and I passed the PAT test. But when I got away, you know, I said to myself, I'll never be just riding around with dope on me again. And I never did after that.
That was the rule.
That was the rule after that. Never ride around with dope.
That's right.
You know, so it was
Smart
pretty
rule.
It was pretty hard. It was pretty hard for them to catch me with drugs. You know, I kind of made it where I wouldn't get caught with drugs.
Yeah, your system was.
When you know, I found out though. You know, when I got to prison and I learned how to read in prison, right? So I started reading all these self-help books about how to think. You know, because found out I wasn't a very good thinker when. So I learned how to think, and it came to me that I had been a thinker in some ways, you know, because I had enough sense to say, you know, well, I ain't gonna rob people. You know,
Right.
I'm not finna put no gun in nobody's face and tell them to give me their wallet. That was
Right.
That was pretty smart, and I didn't want to break in people's houses. So that was kind of a form of critical thinking.
Right.
You know, and
You made a choice.
I made a choice, and drugs seemed for me the most logical, because when I used to see the guys selling drugs, the people come to them, they smiling and they shaking hands and they doing the dances and all. I say, oh, that must be all right.
Yeah.
Look how they get along.
It's a selling point. career choice.
So I felt that drugs was. I would like to make you feel like that.
Right.
I wanted to make you the way you felt when you went to him. I want you to feel like that when you come to me, and that's the way I sold my drugs.
Right.
Crazy, man.
Yeah. So.
And that's what's in the first book, right?
Yeah. The first book is talking about all that, how I wanted to be a Crip and how I started on 81st and Hoover and this was a Crip block and how I had to, take care of them. Here, man, go get high. Buy your beer, give everybody beer. You gotta
chip them off.
And some people might, like I know a lot of the rappers nowadays, they might think that was, being a sucker or being scared, but
that was security.
I had to kill nobody.
Yeah.
And if anybody would have came over there and tried to kill me, they would have dealt with it.
Yeah.
They wasn't gonna have you coming over there messing with Rick. No, Rick take care of the homies.
Yeah.
And
that's messing with the money. Can't mess with the money.
So it was just, it was just a different philosophy.
Right.
My philosophy, even with now,
it was like take care of everybody.
You got to take care of people, man. When you take care of them, they take care of you.
That's true.
You don't even have to worry about it. It's my man says it's like a boomerang. You throw that boomerang up and it comes back. So, and I'm reading these books in the pen, right? And I'm in a maximum security penitentiary, Lompoc, USP Lompoc, and I'm reading all these books and I'm saying, wow. I got to practice these things even though I'm in the pen. And I just went around, man, and some of the hardest dudes, I'm talking about, it was some hard dudes up there. I seen a dude get his head busted with, you ever seen those steel mop ringers?
Yeah.
Because, they don't have many weapons, so everything become a weapon in the pen when a fight jump off.
Yeah, they get creative.
Some of the hardest dudes, they would hit you in the head with the steel mop ringer. This thing is probably weigh about 20 pounds and bust your head. But I started using some of these techniques on some of these guys in the pen, and not just some on everybody in the pen. I used them speaking to them, learning their name. Hey, what up, homie? Hey. And it was funny how these big, tough dudes started speaking. Hey, Rick, what's up, man? What you doing today? You going on the tennis court? Who you got? Who you teaching today? They started to make my life part of their life. They knew what I was doing, and I think that's what we have to do out here in the world. We have to become concerned with each other.
Right.
Not just me, my, I.
People don't care enough about each other.
No, we don't. We don't.
Was there ever a time when you were like at the height of your career where you just wanted out? Or were you always like, I want to be the best?
I did want to get out, right? I wanted to get out after I had $1 million.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but the homies was like, man, you can't quit. What I'm gonna do? I ain't got no house. I ain't got no car.
Oh man.
So I kind of got trapped. My problem is and it probably goes overboard is my love for people. Like I want for my brother what I want for myself. If I got it, you want it, I want to see you with it.
You were feeding a lot of people.
I was feeding a lot of people, and they didn't want me to quit. So I stayed in too long. What I learned from after I got to reading all those books, man. I read like 300 books before I left prison. So
that's a lot of reading.
Yeah. And it's so funny, right? Because when I be doing business with people, they be done read the paper that I was illiterate and all that, and I was be like, this dude don't even know who he talking to. I read the LA Times every day for a year straight, and the Wall Street Journal every day, and the USA every day. So I ain't that dumb kid that was on South Central, And Jesse Katz, he wrote an article in LA Magazine. He wrote my obituary in LA Magazine. Really? Yeah. Crazy story.
He wrote your obituary?
He wrote my obituary, yeah.
How the hell is that?
Well, in LA Magazine's eyes and Jesse Katz's eyes, this was going to be their last time ever talking about me.
Oh.
So they were writing my obituary. They literally were saying that I was going to die in this concrete box that I was in, Lompoc.
Right.
It's like a concrete box.
Right.
they were saying that was basically my tomb.
Right.
And we're talking, and I'm telling him about these books that I was reading and how these books had gave me new hope and new life, and now I could see the world differently than I'd ever seen it before.
Right.
I'd never seen the world from this side of knowledge.
Yeah.
So when I go and deal with these people, they are still looking at it as if
You're still that guy.
I'm still that guy who wanted to be a Crip.
Right.
Who wanted to be a dope dealer. I wanted to be a dope dealer. I was like, yeah, give me some dope. You know what I mean? I'm running around to everybody, man, put me down, homie. Homie, will you put me down, man? I'm going to do right. Homie. I ain't going to run off. I'm literally asking dudes. I'm begging the big homies, man, put me down, man. Let me in the game, homie.
Let me in. Get in.
Y'all don't know about that, man. That's some street shit that when you ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
When you ain't got nothing and you like the big homie, man, come on, man.
Yeah, and they don't have the confidence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you trying to convince them, man, give me a break, man. I mean, you went through it with the rap, I already know.
Yeah.
I mean, how good was you when you was telling people, man, believe in me, man, and they didn't believe in you?
It took a minute for us to get our ride.
The same thing with me. So I went through the same thing, but in a different game.
Yeah, for sure.
Did one day any of those big homies come to you like, hey, dog, put me on?
They all started working for me.
Of course.
I didn't throw it in their face though.
Word up.
I didn't say, oh, remember that day I asked you? I didn't do that.
Of course not.
What year was your big break with?
84, man.
84 is when it took
84
off.
is like,
You was
ooh.
good. Ooh.
I couldn't
Driving,
believe
had
it.
the whips.
I couldn't believe it. No, I stayed away from the whips. I didn't want nobody to know me. I was embarrassed to be a drug dealer for real. And then after I started to find out that it was addictive, my conscience started working on me like, damn, motherfucker, you out here.
And you was stashing this money in the crib? Yeah,
Cribs.
Or
Cars.
what?
It was
what I would do
everywhere,
is like I would buy. It's like when they first started building the underground parking in LA. You could buy get an apartment over in Westwood, and they had underground parking.
Mm-hmm.
So I would rent the apartment. I would park a car inside of the parking garage with the money inside the car or the dope inside of the car.
Right.
So I had the security, and because what happened when I used to do it in the hood. And people start following me around, man. Next thing I know, they broke in the trunk of my car. Like, damn.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Somebody saw something.
Somebody, yeah. Look out.
Well, what I was really mistaken at is I didn't know how big I became.
Right.
I'm thinking, everybody looking at me as the same Rick, just because I dressed a certain way, and I didn't wear the jewelry and all that. I'm thinking they don't really know,
Right.
but
They all knew.
they knew.
Yeah.
So somebody probably saw me going in the car a couple times.
Your reputation rang through the city.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in my hood, we all knew.
I didn't know till I went to jail. I was like, damn, how the police get on me?
Oh man.
He was famous.
I mean,
You were talked about for sure.
Because realistically, anybody who was slanging dope on even a small level, they had to get their bags from somebody else. Nobody had that kind of connect. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So most likely it was
Yeah.
through that network, through your network. You know what I mean? So a lot of people in different hoods
And we'd be
do.
surprised how far drugs travel.
Yeah.
Cocaine got legs,
Yeah.
that those drugs can start here with
was
this person, and then he gives somebody 2 or 3 ounces or a half a kilo, and then that dude take a half a kilo to New York, and
Oh yeah.
it just travels. So
You was getting your stuff from where?
from some Nicaraguans
Nicaragua.
who were
Okay.
CIA operatives.
Mm.
We didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
I thought they was just great drug dealers.
Rick, you
They're
got kind of
definitely
like a
fooling me.
parallel life with a cat that I used to run around with up in NorCal named James Beasley. I'm sure you're familiar
know
with him.
James.
I'm sure you do. I'm sure
Yeah, I
you
know
do. You
James.
guys got kind of a parallel life going.
yeah, I know James well. We were in the pen together.
Yeah, it's sad that's where it ended up, even parallel like that. But yeah,
I mean, you know, when you're playing those games, it's usually two places you wind up, you know, and the pen happens to be the best one.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, because
I'll
the
take
other.
the pen.
Yeah.
I'll take the pen every day. You know, like, yes, give me the pen. Yeah, the other one is a graveyard, and I'm fortunate that I was able to be one of the ones who made it to the pen, because there was a lot of guys that I knew that played the game who wasn't fortunate enough to make it to the pen.
Yeah.
You know, and that's usually where you're going. You know, like it's only a matter of time. You know, when you go in there and you see the feds, they got their little chart on the board.
Oh,
and
man.
they got the name.
That must have been crazy to see the chart.
Yeah, and then you see your name, like, oh, I was number 7.
Nah, you
Damn.
put a number next.
up there.
Oh, that's all
So, you know, they be chasing number 1 really
They be
hard.
chasing one,
But
yeah.
if they can't get him and they run across 6, then, oh, we got 6. So we'll just take him down today.
We'll eventually get to 5.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
And that's what a lot of these kids don't really understand, is that, you know, with the feds, it's just a number game with them. You know,
It's a matter of time
it's a matter of time.
that they catch up. And with technology these days, they catch up faster,
Yeah.
you know.
They selling drugs online.
Do you watch any of these shows based on your life? Like, you know, I know Snowfall. I know you got a bitter taste about Snowfall because originally that they took the idea from your
Yeah, they did. From my book. John,
your book.
John, when my documentary aired in the Black Film Festival, me and John went to the show together. And that day I just got my first demo books.
Right.
I got my demo book. So John was there. He bought one of my demo books. And I was just shocked that he did Snowfall, because I thought we was cool. And I was like, how would he do Snowfall without me?
Right.
You know, I mean, how could you do a drug dealer movie about L.A. and you got Rick Ross's number and you don't consult with him?
Right.
I mean, how is that possible?
That's crazy.
How is it possible? And then on top of that, I was doing bad at the time. You know, I was broke. You know, and you don't even offer my job. You know, like, hey man, just show us what the costumes look like.
They could have had you
cut.
advising the whole thing.
Little
Yes.
cut or something, you know, cut you off or something.
Yeah. So it was a little bitter taste. You know,
So you didn't watch any of it.
I did. You know,
you
Dave
did?
Dave Mays from the
Yes.
guy who used to own the Source.
Yeah, Dave.
He started a podcast called After the Snow, and he used to pay me. I ain't gonna say how much he used to pay me. Nice little piece of
But,
money though.
yeah.
To come on every
And talk about the episodes.
and talk about the show. So I did that for about 10 shows. And I did it.
How close was it, or did they exaggerate and just change the story?
They-
I know they changed a lot of the
They
story.
changed a lot of the story, but you could see the resemblance.
Right.
You know, you could see where they went there, and then they switched it up, and it has some resemblance, but it's so far-fetched. I don't know. It's kind of, to me, it's almost like they promoting this mentality, you know, that hip hop has been promoting for the past
Right.
10 to 15 years. You know, this gangsterism, this because Operation was more sophisticated than what Snowfall was. Snowfall to me was not sophisticated at all. You know, it was a brutal bully. You know, and I was a bully sometimes. You know, and that's one of the reasons that I stopped selling drugs. You know, I understood that I would go to people's house and I would sell them drugs, and the kids would look at me in a funny way because I was taking all the money out of the house.
Right.
But then I would go to my friends and I'd be like, hey, well, don't sell no dope to my brother, my sister, my girlfriend, don't sell them no dope.
Right.
But here I was selling dope to other people who couldn't stop me from selling dope. So I started to feel kind of guilty about it. And when I watched Snowfall, it was just
He didn't feel guilty about it.
no, not at all.
No, not
and,
at all.
And they pushed their way around. They bullied people.
Yeah.
You know, because they had the
Towards
power.
the end, yeah.
You know, and I just thought that was a bad image to be portraying to young people. You know, about drugs. When they read my book, they're going to get totally a different outlook on how I feel about drugs and what I think about myself as a drug dealer.
They should still make your movie. Like they haven't yet. But they
We
should.
working on it. We working on it right
All
now.
right.
That's gonna be dope.
Yeah.
Put me in there, G.
That's gonna be dope. Word. Yeah.
Hey, did you watch any of the BMF, the
No,
Big Meat story and all that?
no, I can't watch it.
No, you don't watch any of that.
None of that, man. I mean, you know, it's hard to create stories when you're watching them.
Right.
You know, so I'm trying to create stories.
Trying to dig
From your
from the
experience,
files
yeah.
and create stories from them, right?
Yes. So
And you feel like watching other stuff like that is like sort of distracts from that.
it would, and it would give you a different picture of what reality was.
It might bleed into yours, right?
Correct.
So it might distort it if you look at other people's stories and stuff like
Well,
that. right?
well, not my story, because you know the way I'm doing my story is not only am I going to tell my story, but I want all my friends to tell my story.
Right.
Because they saw me in a different light than I saw myself.
Yeah,
You know, like
sure,
I might
right.
saw myself in this light here, and then, you know, my friend might say, "Nah, motherfucker, you was fucking up."
You was wilding.
And
Say you was tripping.
and I wanted them to be honest, because I want the story to be the most honest story that I can tell. You know, my memory fades some, and I understand that, but I think that it's time that society start to tell some real stories. You know,
Yeah.
because people want to know the real. You
Yeah.
know, they don't want fake.
Nah.
You know, and once they find out it is fake, they started to shy away from it. So I'm real keen on having my story being as authentic and told from as many different sides as I can get, because I think that people want to know the whole ins and outs of what took place. I mean, really, my story is American history. You know, we
True
talk
that.
about
It was on the news. Like
George Bush, Ronald Reagan, Oliver North. I mean, this is
that's huge.
this is U.S. history here
Yeah.
we're talking about. So when you start playing with our history, what are the kids gonna get in school?
I mean, it's an obvious answer to this, but like, you know, for the sake of asking it, you think they'd be trying to block that story? I mean, we all know it. I mean, it was told. You know what I'm saying? We heard you say it, and others that were in that whole network and
why
whole
would they
life
block it?
talked about this, the CIA, you know, being a part of it, right? And you've heard it, like, you know, through Narcos and all these various true stories that have come out, right? But like, you know, there's certain stories maybe they want to try to block
I don't know.
from
man.
happening
I don't know. I mean,
because maybe it tells.
I be feeling like I just need the money. You know,
Yeah.
if you had the money, then because I wouldn't be scared to do it. If I had the money myself, you know,
yeah, you would do it.
I
for
would go
sure.
ahead and do it. You know, just deal with the consequences. So it's hard for me to say. I know the studios. I was scared. You know, they tried to buy it when I first come home from prison,
Right,
but I was scared they was gonna shelf it.
right.
You know, buy it and then, you know, just say, we'll get around to it one day, you know, and it might be 100 years, and then somebody look up, oh man, we got the Ricky Ross rights, and you know, and
Yeah.
I'm gone, and you know, and then they do the story. I didn't want it to be like that. I felt that it would be great to have my story told, you know, while I'm alive and healthy, and was able to see it happen. So I've been holding on to my rights, but
You ever think about pitching it to 50?
I talked to 50 about it. You know, I talked to 50 and Ronald Emmett. We had a couple phone conversations, but things just didn't pan out. right now, you know, we got Mike Ho. Mike Ho was hired to direct it right now. He's doing the director's edit, and we're hoping to be shooting this summer.
Nice.
So,
Congratulations on that.
Yep. Hopefully everything go well with that. You know, I'll be opening my dispensary in about 3 weeks too.
Nice.
You gotta come out,
Congratulations
man.
on that. Run around. Look at that.
You got to come out, man. I won under social equity.
Nice.
Yeah. So I just got approved from the state. The state gave me my temporary, and city gave me my temporary. I got to do my walkthrough, and then
Nice. What you calling it?
I think we're gonna call it No Name.
Oh, no name, just no name.
Yeah, just No Name. It's after a brand that that's coming in, and you know, they helping me put everything together. So they wanted to name it No Name, and I didn't care. You know, my goal is to become, you know, the big dog on the block.
Well, you're attached to it, so you know.
Yeah.
Just that fact.
Yep.
You don't need no name.
No name.
You are the
No
name, Mike.
baby. No name, baby.
Word up.
yo, Rick, let me ask you. Take us back to when you first heard Rose.
Oh man.
That's your boy now, or you?
Oh my goodness. I saw him online dancing the other day. I'm like, man, this dude here. Wow.
He's funny though.
He's funny. He's a funny dude, man. And,
Yeah. But I think
But he tricked the world.
him being naming himself Ricky Ross kind of put a little light on you now, like the original Rick Ross, and it's like people talking now.
It did. I mean,
For East Coast cats.
But I'm gonna be a little arrogant right now, right?
I know. And it worked both ways. The way that's all I'm saying.
I'm be a
It
little
worked.
arrogant right now. I didn't need that shit.
No doubt. No doubt.
That's right.
You know,
You
I was
really
gonna-
did.
I was gonna be good anyway.
No doubt.
You know, I think it helped him out more than it helped me out.
For sure.
And that's my arrogant side.
Hey man, he must have been looking up to you though, because like to take
He
a
tattooed
real.
my names on his hand.
Yeah.
You look at his knuckles. He got Rick Ross
Yeah.
on his.
Were you
I think
surprised at all when your legend, your story got that big that someone
I
actually used your name?
was. Let me say this here though. I started to see it coming. You know, when I go to Cincinnati, let me tell you the first time that I see myself in a newspaper, because I've been in the paper before, but I didn't know I was in the paper, right? But this time I'm in Cincinnati, and this guy come and say, "Man, you made the front page of the newspaper." So he run to the stand, hand me the paper, and I get the paper, and I'm looking, and I'm on the front cover of the newspaper, and this is election year. They got George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and Ross Perot, right? Right next to my picture. My picture bigger than all three of their pictures together. Hey, they say the $10 million man come to town to face charges, right?
The $10 million man.
The $10 million man. That's what they called me in
Wow.
Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, and then I started to understand a little more about hip hop, because I slipped on hip hop too. I should have been the king of hip hop, but I really slipped. I was messing with a guy named Otis Smith. You guys probably don't know, you're too young. But Otis Smith is the guy that found Anita Baker and Johnny Taylor and Bobby Womack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, whoa.
And he was hanging out with, his partner was Dick Griffey.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm hanging out with these guys from tennis. And when I found out that they did music, I go to them and about rap. I'm like, man, this new thing is on the street, man, this rap thing. And they was like, man, this rap stuff, it's going to be like disco.
They talked you out of it.
They talked me out of it. They talked
Oh,
me into
man.
giving Otis the money
That's cool.
to give Otis the $600,000 so he could do a Anita Baker's album. So that's what I wound up doing. Instead of giving DJ Pooh, who was with Dr. Dre, and
Right.
when I go to Dre's house and meet Dre for the first time, Dre was like, I was in that house that day when you came over there with DJ Pooh. And I was like, oh, shit.
Man, ones
You're
that
right
got,
there.
Ones that got away.
Yeah, man. So I understood that I was right there at the door, and I was on the right track, but I allowed somebody else to change my mind
Right.
from what I was doing, you know, and what I thought I should have been doing, because I just saw something with the hip hop, you know, but I didn't really, because I was still, you know, I was heavy into drugs.
Yeah.
You know, drugs was my bread and butter.
Yeah,
but,
for sure.
But I had all this money that I was making, and I didn't know what to do with the
You
money.
wanted to invest it in something.
Into something, you know, I'd already bought the motel, and I was building 2 more motels, and I had apartments, I had houses, and you know, the hip hop just seemed logical, but
Right.
it wasn't making any money at that time.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the kind of money that it would be making.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. What it makes now. That's crazy.
If your ass don't go to jail.
Yeah. Well, like the thing is that what the difference is right now, cats are like trying to be active on the streets and doing crazy things and putting out records. You know what I mean? And they don't realize they're a bigger target to two different entities, right? The law and your enemies if you got beef, right?
Right.
With folks. And you can't be doing this while you're still active because it's just an easy tracking system to you. You got a show, they can show up. You got a meet and greet, they could show up.
Yeah.
And, like you're in the studio, someone's got loose lips that works in the studio, they be waiting outside. You know what I mean? So, like, it's just in your best interest, like if you're going to do music, not to be active.
Well,
Like
that's why, now the labels are putting policies on the rappers.
Yeah, you have to. Sort of like the way sports teams put policies on some of the athletes.
Absolutely.
If they pay them like $10 million or whatever for their contract for X amount of years, okay, you can't ride motorcycles, you can't do this, that, the other, anything that would cause you bodily danger or whatever, you cannot do these things because we invested this in you.
Absolutely. And it's only right. I mean, you don't
Right.
want to invest in nobody even that's going to jail.
Yeah.
Your investment is sitting in jail? No, that ain't going to work.
Yeah, they sign someone and they commit X amount of dollars and then, 2-3 months later, they got to go do a bid for whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because they couldn't keep it together. You hear it so many times.
It happened to us with Al Tariq in the middle of recording the album. He went to jail. And so we had to put out an EP instead of a whole album because, until he got back a few years later. So happens,
Yeah. It's crazy how that happens. Let me just say this real quick to the sponsors. A lot of folks are getting down with Tough Mama. Tough Mama started out making award-winning hemp cone blunts infused with live resin, and now they have mini mofos. Mini mofos are dog walker-sized blunts, joints infused with solventless cured resin that burns slow and smooth. Son Doobie likes that. He likes the burn slow and smooth, man.
Oh, yeah.
Tough Mama also makes carts in a range of 100-milligram beverages called YOLO shots.
Woo!
YOLO shots are great for shooting or making canned cocktails. They have a rapid onset of 5 to 15 minutes thanks to their nanotechnology methods. Nano. All right. Also, keep a lookout for Tough Mama's Flower 8s coming at ya. Salute to Tough Mama and all that.
Awesome.
Yes, they are. And we got my man Freeway Rick Ross in the house, chilling. We got Trace up in the nest, Son Doobie on the table,
Oh, yeah.
the Brosha Sendal. And you're watching the Dr. Greenthumb show Monday through Friday live. We do this 5 p.m. Eastern. Smash that like if you haven't smashed it yet. All right, subscribe if you're not subscribing. And make sure you get up on game with my man Rick Ross's books. What's the second one called?
This book here, it's crazy. This book came along. No, we wasn't planning on writing this book here. We were. Let me tell you a little bit about the story. Right, I was in prison. I had about a year and a half maybe, and this guy writes me from New York. He has a magazine called Get Money, and he was like, "Man, I want to put you on the cover." I said, "I'm cool with that. I ain't never been on a." Well, I've been on one cover before. I only been on one cover. I'd love to be on the cover of your magazine. So we started talking, and we kind of built up a little relationship. And then I tell him about these 3 books that I read. I was like, "Man, you an entrepreneur and you ain't read these 3 books?" And I was like, man, you got to go get these 3 books. So he went and bought the books. Think and Grow Rich, Richest Man in Babylon, As a Man Think. And by the way, if y'all buy my book, go to my website and buy it. Don't go to Amazon, please. Because they keep all the money. Jeff Bezos don't need your money. I do.
Real talk.
Word.
So me and him kick up a little relationship. I get out of jail. He fly me out and buy me a suit. And, we do the photo shoot and everything. And I'm out there like 3 days, and it's time for me to go. I was like, man, I can't stay an extra day because my PO be tripping, and we hitting strip clubs, everything, man. At the time of my life, right? I had a ball. So he said, well, man, what if I come to LA and hang out with you? I said, I don't care. I ain't got nobody to hang out with anyway. I don't know nobody. So he comes out, and me and him just going around. I'm doing what I do, going to meetings with Universal Music Group and Warner Brothers, and trying to get the movie sold.
Right.
That's what I was doing, trying to get my movie sold.
Pitching the movie.
And this dude is taking notes the whole time, man. He's taking notes every day for 6 months. He's been taking notes of my journey. And one day I look over and I said, man, every time we come out of a meeting, I say, you scratching on that tablet. What are you putting in the tablet? He said, I'm just writing down the day's journal. I said, so you've been keeping a journal of everything I've been doing? I said, man, people going to go crazy to find out all this stuff. He's like, I said, man, we're going to do that in a book. And that's how it came about. And
that's organic. That's what you call organic, man.
Oh.
And what he did is he was writing down me using the principles that we had learned out of those 3 books. And he said that it was 21 principles that I was using. And that's how the book came up.
Awesome.
What's
21 keys.
21 keys to success.
Nice.
That's dope.
I need that.
It's been doing pretty good. Not as good as the autobiography, but
Good.
the autobiography. Matter of fact, LA Times found it about a month ago. Man, they did an article on it about a month ago. Said that it reminds them of a Scorsese movie.
Yeah, it needs to be made by
Yeah.
the proper people, man. It can't just be, whoever making this.
Yeah.
'Cause
But
it's such a big story.
What's so crazy though, right? Look at his end. My book ain't sold in no stores. I'm like, how the hell y'all find out about my book?
Things get around.
Like y'all music did.
Yeah, things get around.
So it came about the way hip hop came about. Hip hop first was just
It's word
passed around the
word of
street.
mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah.
And somehow it got to mainstream media, man. I'm at the tennis court, right, where my kids play, and this white lady comes up to me and she said, oh, Rick, they're talking about your book in the LA Times. And I was like, lady, that's the rapper they talking about. Not talking
Yeah,
about
that's what you thought.
That's what I thought. And
Right.
she was like, oh, no, it's you. It's you. Because I don't know she know my story.
Right.
I'm like, you don't know me, you know.
She's like, no,
we just wave at each other.
Yeah.
But she came and it was my story, and I was just like, wow, LA Times finally found
They
it.
found it. Hey, are these books available digitally or just hard?
They are. They're available digitally too.
Yeah, see, because I think people get, it gets more run now through digital.
Yeah, they do.
So someone could have easily sent it to one of their peoples at LA Times, like, have you ever read this? Boom.
Yeah, you're probably right. Something like that.
Yeah, because yeah, it's one of the biggest stories out here.
Yeah, I'm just amazed that that it hasn't gotten as big as that I believe it should be. I believe that I should have been sold 1 million copies right now. Because it's a book that everybody in America should know about. We talking about our presidents being
Involvement.
accused. We're gonna say being
Allegedly.
accused allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Because I never heard him, none of them buy drugs and none of that. But allegedly they were involved. The CIA admitted
Yeah.
that
They needed the money.
yeah. So we don't know how high up the ladder it went.
Yeah.
But
It went as high as it needed to go.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that some of the publishers, I'll use the term, some of the big New York publishers, do they not want to get involved with you because of the content?
I don't know.
Maybe they were afraid, you're saying?
When I talked to Ori Emanuel from from William Morris Endeavor, he said nobody wanted to read my story. Nobody wanted to read it, which
Because of a lack of interest or because of the type of content?
I think from the lack of interest. They felt that my story had been told already. B&T had did American Gangster. I was one of the features on American Gangster, and they felt that the story had been already told and people knew the story. But I totally disagreed with them at the time.
So is that a tough pill for you to swallow? Like what I'm getting at is you would probably easier to swallow the pill of the content rather than the other.
Well, I'm not going to listen to neither one of them. If they talking about nobody wants to read my book, I don't believe that, because I have to live with me and I know.
You know what the story was.
I know what the story was. I know how people feel about me. I have to walk through airports. So I know when I see little white kids come up to me and say, "Hey, Rick Ross, can I get your autograph? I read your book." So I know that my book is penetrating, but it's penetrating at a slower level. Not having the machine behind you.
Right.
Definitely.
The marketing and promoting and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not having that behind you, like the rapper dominates me, with my own name. You know, if you put in Rick Ross, he'll pop up, but only because he had the machine behind him.
Right.
He had the marketing dollars, he has a social following, he got 4 or 5 million followers on social media.
He probably rapped about your life too, like in his raps.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
But
that don't matter to the consumers if they're being fed, programming, radio programming, TV programming, social media programming, all that stuff is being manipulated by the
funds.
Yes, there you go. Thank you for that.
Well, the one way to get it out is doing shows like these and like letting people know that it's available out there. Both these books are out there. Make sure you check them out.
Oh man, without you guys, man, without social media and podcasts, my book probably wouldn't be, nobody would even know about it. Nobody would even know about me. They would think the rapper was really Rick Ross. It's crazy, but this has definitely been for me a game changer. Having shows like this here.
I feel like they would try to bury the story because obviously it makes certain people in politics look very bad.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like in terms of why it all happened, the whole reason for it in the first place. I mean, we already know we all know it. It's just they ain't been told like this part of the story proper. You know what I mean? And it's an embarrassment to them because they'd have to be admitting to, or it'd be yet another dart at them, like showing their involvement on how this came to be. In the United States.
Another notch against our government's
right. To the detriment of people's.
Right, absolutely.
And for the benefit of them, ultimately.
Have you ever feared for like your safety, knowing the stories that knowing that a lot of people don't want those stories to ever surface?
Well, when Gary Webb got killed, I was alarmed. Let me say at the least. I was in the penitentiary, and when I found out that Gary had gotten killed, I was like, wow. They got to a reporter, so I was taken back, for a few days, you know, and then after a minute I was like, you know what? If they want to get you, you can't go nowhere. You got this fence around you. They can come get you anytime they get ready.
Yeah.
So
they have the means to do such a thing.
Yeah. So I just dropped those thoughts and just said, you know what? I'm just gonna live my life and go on with my life.
It's crazy because you're starting to see more stories that pop up in the last 5 to 10 years on like guys that were in the same scenario like White Boy Rick.
Right.
It seems like they were like trying to feed different parts of the country, different regions to different guys. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And you're starting to see more of these stories. So yeah, it's just a matter of time, I think, where your story pops up.
Yeah, we're gonna get it out there. You know, I appreciate you guys for helping me. You know,
No
pushing
doubt.
out there and letting the public become aware that there are some real stories and there's some real people out here that have real stories that need to be heard. And you know, I just appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Man,
guys.
people love true stories, so this is all true.
And the fact that you're trying to point people in a positive direction now is everything, because realistically you're giving them knowledge to say, you know, make a choice.
Right.
Make the right choice. Make a choice. You know
Instead
what
of
I mean?
being choiceless.
Instead of being
You know,
choiceless.
I don't have a choice.
And not knowing the repercussions of the
your
life of your choice
Right.
before it actually happens. Because I mean, you know, there's two outcomes to this. You know, you were lucky enough to get the pen and be able to get out. The other is the one, you know, we talked about earlier, you know, where people don't get out
Yes.
because, you know, death comes first before you get out. And so, you know, got to be aware of the choices you make.
Absolutely. And that's what I'm trying to do now. And you know, I'm starting my record label too.
Yeah, you finally getting it off.
Yeah, I'm finna get
All
my
right.
record label. I'm gonna try to correct that wrong that I made before.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, just signed a distribution deal with Bungalow Universal.
Nice.
So I'm looking for an artist right now. If there's artists,
Word
out
up. You
there.
got any what you got an email to submit music to? I'm pretty sure we got some artists watching right now.
You know what? I don't have no email, but I'm gonna get my nephew phone number out so they can call nephew and bug him. Hold on one second.
What's the name of the label?
Freeway Music Group.
All right.
I like that.
Yep.
I get down with that.
I came up with the name and I'll try to put it out there. The number is 310-227-2376. Hit him up.
Gotta do it.
You got
Gotta
some
do
good
it.
music. You want to try to get it out there? Boom.
Yes, producers.
Right.
I'm looking for producers too. I plan on making up from where I missed out. You know, I'm one who, when I make a mistake, I like to, you know, like say for instance, when you play tennis and your backhand ain't right, you just keep doing it over and over again. You try to get it corrected. So that's what I'm doing now in the music business. I'm gonna try to correct it.
Oh, yeah.
I had some pretty good success, like I said, with my book, and I'm gonna see if I can have that same type of success with this music industry now.
Hell yeah.
I got a lot of friends. I got a lot of friends in the industry.
Oh, yes, you do. I know this.
And you know what? I don't even know if you remember this, right? I got out for like 6 months in '93,
Yeah.
and I went to one of y'all shows,
Yeah. I remember that.
and y'all gave me a shout out on the stage. That was so crazy.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, no.
Adrian Miller.
That's right,
had
Adrian
gave me
Miller.
the tickets to the show, and y'all.
Oh, yeah.
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 That's when nobody know me then. That was like tiny.
Some of us in the hood, we knew.
We knew.
We knew.
Yo, Rick, let me ask you. You think the Fed's still tapping in sometimes with you?
Oh, they can tap into me.
Just to
I'll
know
give-
where you at.
I'll give them permission. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Hey, get my phone number.
Because
Call me.
it happens. It happens. A lot of people end
Yeah,
up
but-
going back. you know?
No. I couldn't. If somebody came and gave me cocaine, I couldn't sell it.
Yeah, you gotta be.
I mean, and I think they know that. They know when you're off, like
Yeah.
totally done with it,
Yeah.
because they would hear it. You know,
Yeah,
because
just like-
people would talk about it.
Just
Oh,
like
Rick's-
LA Times heard about the book,
Yeah.
but
Oh,
faster though.
right. Rick's in the game again.
Yeah.
God damn it. All right.
And I
Let's gear up.
would dominate too hard in the cocaine game. I mean, I would literally smash. The cocaine game would be so simple for me right now.
You got the blueprint already.
Yeah. So they would know quick.
Yeah.
Maybe like 1 year.
Yeah, they would. Yeah.
Nah.
They
Now, I
would
know
think-
you're opening your dispensary. You said in a couple of weeks coming up. Let me ask you this: back in those days, were you ever in the tree game at all? Like, you know, the brickweed from Mexico and that type of thing. Were you ever involved with that?
We was getting skunk every now and then. The problem with us is that we couldn't get a steady supply of weed. You know, I was a heavy smoker back then. That's why I don't smoke now, because I'm what they would call a heavy smoker. I probably would smoke Snoop Dogg under the table. He probably. I had my own roller, right?
I know you.
All
smoke.
he did was just roll weed all day for me.
Hey,
That
Tom.
was his job. And all I
we
did-
got one of them too.
So you know what it's like.
Gotta have a roller.
I thought everybody did.
Everybody didn't have them in the 80s, though.
No.
That's a fact. Word. Tell them.
There was no lane for that.
So I smoke so much, and that that there's no way that I could support my habit right now if I started smoking weed. It would be too expensive. And I used to buy like 10 pounds of weed a week.
Oh, you had one of them habits.
For myself.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, it was for me, but you know how your friends come up, man.
Yeah.
Everybody.
I just dropped off 200,000. You're going to tell me I can't get a handful of this weed?
I know.
Word.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just mine, but in order for me to smoke in peace,
you shared it.
I had to have that amount around. Otherwise, I don't have enough because they done took it off. So
yeah,
I mean, you still enjoy the aroma though.
Oh, I love it.
Okay,
I love it.
I know how it feels.
5-1, 5-1, 5-1, 5-1. Let me tell you what it smells like.
One right now.
Let me see. Blow a little smoke over here. I'm gonna tell you what it smells like.
Bring it.
Yeah.
Oh, money.
Money. That's right.
That smells like money.
Smells like money.
It's good money. It
Smells like money.
Smells like money. That's a song. Let's go.
Dineros.
All right. It is now that time, mine. Let's do it.
Time for submissions. 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 Time for submissions.
All right, we got a good submission to start it off with today. We got Trace up in here at the Cali Roots Festival, and we caught Sendog snacking here.
Cali Roots.
Cali Roots.
All right. First one of the day. What happened there?
Here we go.
Sneak peek. Backstage at the Cypress Hill dressing room. No one knows I'm coming, so let's see who we can catch doing what.
Oh, this is what we're doing now, huh?
What the hell is this?
Oh my God.
Pretty cool.
Mr. Real? Hey, Lord.
What are you snacking back there, Sendog?
What were you having?
What do we have backstage there? I think
It was jerk chicken.
No, that wasn't what he was having.
Was that after or before? That was before.
Yeah.
no, that was the hummus thing and the thing with the dip in it. You know,
The food wasn't bad. I'll admit the food wasn't bad. I had good snacks, good stoner food.
that shit was terrible.
Horrible. Next.
And we got Dean Jones up in here saying, now last time I sent in lasagna with no pasta and I used zucchini and Bobo was not feeling it. So here's another version and roasted with eggplants as the pasta.
Instead of
Zucchini.
he's very particular, this guy. All right, go ahead. Ah, okay. I would try either. I'm not picky like Bobo.
That looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. He cut it up, put it on a nice white plate. Very presentable.
Nice.
Bring it.
I would try that, especially because I'm high. See, this is what they do, Rick. They be torturing us with food.
And this next one's pretty good. We got the Hawk up in here, and he's saying it's his wifey's birthday. So shout out to her, and shout out to Mrs. Hawk as well. Sorry, my screen capture isn't working right now. I can't transition this over.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Hawk.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Squeeze.
Happy birthday.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday.
Usually when we see their front, of the crib, there's like fucking, almost me. 10 inches of snow.
I like those shirts.
Usually. And he's doing snow angels outside of his crib. This is the first time I've seen the outside of his crib with no snow.
They're up in Salt Lake City, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's saying for the
Trueness.
birthday, they also made the shepherd's pie.
Awesome.
Yeah, we got some people that be cooking, Rick.
I see.
They be cooking over here. This guy definitely be cooking a lot.
You get down
Is
with
that
everything, right? You're not like a vegan or something, right?
I'm total vegan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, see, I had to ask
32
you.
years.
Really?
Yeah, 32 years vegan.
That's crazy. Well, no Barts for you.
All right.
And we got Fernando up in here saying, my son and I waiting for The Cure tonight at Shoreline Amphitheater. He's saying it's his first concert to his current favorite band.
Awesome.
All right. Those are all the necessary things one would take. Probably better to pre-roll them than to take all that. But I think that's what you did.
And we got Maverick up in here saying, hot boxing at my party camper on Saturday.
Oh, yeah. See, you know, like these things right here, man, I'm on the fence about them because they burn too damn hot and then it makes the place smell horrible. Now, we know that there's some good weed in it, but like,
you don't want to be in that room.
You got to pack so much for that to burn proper, and then it burns so hot that like it's that popcorn smell, burnt popcorn smell that happens.
I like that.
And it's cool and all, but what a fucking waste of weed. You know what I mean?
That's what I was gonna say.
It is a waste of weed. I mean, you're gonna get a contact there though. It's not a waste of weed. It's a waste of like the flavor of the weed, because like, you know me, I like to smoke joints because I want to taste the weed. This way you're gonna get high, but you don't taste the weed.
Would you get as high as smoking the weed?
Yeah, you would get high doing this for sure.
All right.
Like when it's pumping at you like that, for sure.
Yeah, the whole room full of weed. Yeah.
But the thing is, your face is gonna have a paste of resin.
Nasty.
You know what I mean? You gotta go scrub your face with alcohol after that.
Listen to the doctor. You gotta scrape your face.
With alcohol, a little 91 on the face.
Put a little 91 on your face.
Pasty monster.
Get all that paste off. Might as well put on makeup. Know what I'm saying? Won't wipe your face down. Nah, man, you leave that. Leave me out of that party right there. But salute to you for wanting to get that far.
And we got X-Ray Mission saying, yo, came across this one on Facebook. We got real hip-hop right here.
That's some real hip-hop right there. Ooh. It was all in our early 20s.
Man, that is the pick right there. Hell yeah.
I think that's Chris Lighty back there. Maybe.
Chris.
I'm not sure who that.
No, that's
person in
the
back
dot.
there.
Oh,
no, that's the dot. You're
yeah,
right.
that's a dot, right? From Brand Nubian.
Yeah.
Or R.I.P. Fife Dog.
R.I.P. Fife, man.
That is a dope pick.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Dope.
And we got Murph up in here saying, went to the grand opening of Cookies Orlando over the weekend. Great to see Latin Lingo and Dr. Greenthumb on the shelf. He's saying Florida is loving it.
Well, thank you.
Dope.
Awesome.
Nice.
Right on.
Oh.
Glad y'all like it. We got more flipping.
Smoke.
And we got So Chris up in here saying he's about ready to hit the portal.
Mm-hmm. You ever try mushrooms, Rick?
I did.
You like them?
I like mushrooms.
They're good. You do like microdose or moderation?
I just did it one time.
Oh.
Yeah, I just did it one time. Somebody had some vegan chocolate ones, and it was lovely.
Nice. So you would do it again, or was it a one-time
I
experience?
would. I'd do it again.
Was it like, you know, seeing all the trails and the crazy colors, or was it like?
Nah,
just...
it didn't. It's almost like eating edibles to me.
Okay, so you had like a moderate dose. It makes you feel good, like
yeah, like
uplift.
you're floating. You know.
Yeah.
You're light.
See, those
light
are
body.
a lot of people are doing that. You know, like we used to do the melt, where you go beyond that and you're really psychedelic tripping. You know, we've done that many a times, but like realistically, the moderation is where it's at, because that it gives you this crazy feeling. They use it for people with depression a lot now.
Yeah,
you know, they're finding that works for depression and people with anger issues.
The thing I liked about it better than I do the weed edibles is that with the weed edibles, sometimes in order to get there, I had to eat so much you know, and every now and then I overboard, and whenever I go over on edibles, it's always I think I'm gonna die. You know?
Yeah, I know the feeling. Have you tried the RSO or the full spectrum oil?
No, I haven't.
Oh man, yeah, you could take those in capsules. It's the same as doing edibles, just not with, you know, like
all the sugar and stuff.
Yeah, all the sugar, and yeah, like if you take a good moderate dose of that, it's dope. And if you take too much, yeah, it's that ride.
Yeah,
where you like.
I don't really like that ride. I mean, I do sometimes, and then sometimes you be like, I don't want to go there.
Yeah,
I don't want to get there no more. It seems like it lasts forever, right? Like,
yeah, you know, it would, depending on like when you take it, right? So like if you take it like in the early evening, it'll ride with you up until you go to sleep. Like it'll put you to sleep. But if you try to take that late, it's gonna wake you up out of your sleep.
Yeah.
Or you might
right.
be, and if you take it too early, you might be struggling through the day, depending on how much you took.
Yeah.
It's a fine line. With
you've been there.
I've been there. Yeah. Yeah.
Boy, has he.
Oh yeah. It's well documented.
And that seems to be it for submissions.
Oh, thank you for your submissions. Keep them coming to brealtvcontest@gmail.com, and we will put them on. Now it's time for us to open up the doors to the Insane Asylum. That means, y'all, if you got a comment, question, shout out, suggestion, now is the time. Let it be heard. And don't forget, after this show is the Mix Show, the Dr. Greenthumb Mix Show on Twitch. Make sure you stay locked in if you're already on Twitch. And if you're on YouTube and you got a Twitch account, utilize it. Come see us in the mix. Psycho Leezy and myself.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Insane Asylum.
Let's do this.
We got Amanda up in here asking Freeway, did you ever meet Rick James?
You know what? That's crazy. She asked me that. I met Rick one time. We were a bunch of kids. We was running around. They was having, when they used to have the Superfest at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
We were running around trying to find out how to sneak in.
Yeah.
And Rick James stepped out of limo and gave us all tickets.
Get out of here.
Tight.
What?
Yes.
He party.
Word.
That dude party.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Imagine if he'd have met you later in your career. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. You would have been his best friend.
You'd have been in the limo. You'd have been in the limo.
It's Ricky and Ricky, bitch. It'd have been the Ricky Rick crew.
Yeah. I'd have liked to take that ride too.
Yeah, that would have been.
I'd been like, Rick, let her go.
Rick James, bitch.
Let her go.
We got people in the Twitch asking, does Ricky still cruise a hearse?
Nah. Right now I'm driving a Jeep Cherokee.
Jeep Cherokee.
Old school.
Yeah.
Did you say a hearse? You used to drive a hearse?
It wasn't really a hearse, but it looked like a hearse. I had it where it looked like a hearse.
Like a wagon, right?
Yeah. It was, to throw people off. I didn't want people looking at me.
Yeah.
You know when
Driving a hearse, people weren't looking at you?
Oh no, they don't want to see no hearse.
People tend to avoid it.
Yeah, they avoid hearse.
Oh, there's death in
It
there.
was crazy, and that you say that just made me think about the other night. We went to a Killer Mike show, and it was in the middle of the cemetery in Hollywood, and it was like, damn, in a cemetery.
You've been rolling up cool in that hearse. I've been like, oh.
We don't like to be around dead people.
Yeah. Nobody does.
Oh, shit. What?
Yeah.
And we got Weedus up in here saying, I love how humble Ross is.
Well, thank you. I thought I was a little arrogant today.
Yeah, well, I mean, just in the rightful moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why not?
Well done.
And we got Amanda back up in here asking, Sendog, how did you link up with Delinquent Habits?
Well, back in like 91 or 2, I went to a gym to work out in the city of Norwalk, and they were the gym trainers. They were teaching people how to lift weights, and they made a demo tape and let me hear it. And the story started from there. And that's how I originally met them, was in a
gym,
in a sweat box.
That's dope.
You can get discovered anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty
Pretty much. I thought that they was bold on their part just to approach me with their little punk ass demo tape. but I heard something in there that made me want to say, "Oh, let's
You did, and it did.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, they cracked it off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you was Sin Dog already, like Cypress Hill big already, right? When you went to the gym.
Yeah, we was one album big.
Oh, so they definitely knew.
People knew us.
They knew.
People knew us.
Yeah.
Yo, that's Sin Dog.
Yeah.
Get on the tape.
Oh, yeah, they definitely knew him.
We got instant replay up in here asking Ricky, do you get down with the dabs or concentrates?
Nah, I don't do dab or the concentrates. I just the edibles right now.
Oh.
We
What's
got,
your
Not saying
favorite?
I'm-
What's your
not saying I'm-
favorite? What's your
Huh?
favorite edible that you like to do?
Man, the company that I used to love, they stopped making them. What was their name? I can't even think about it. They've been out of business because it wasn't sweet. You
Right.
know, it was like a
Savory.
lemon, had a lemon flavor.
Ah, okay.
And something they were saying that the lemons couldn't pass the damn testing.
Hmm.
That was the reason they say that they stopped making them. It was because the lemons that they put in them wouldn't pass testing, for the chemical.
Mm.
The weed passed, but the lemons didn't. And like, oh, so you guys let us eat food that won't pass testing, but we can't smoke it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Crazy how they do that.
and we got Bob up in here saying, Happy Taco Tuesday, fam. I'm going to be cooking tacos tonight. Not sure if I'm going to be doing street tacos or hard shell. What does the table prefer?
Street.
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 I'm gonna go with everybody street.
Yeah, why not?
We got Kareen up in here saying, everyone, Table THC crew wanted to wish B a happy birthday on Friday. Thanks for the time you share and everything you've done and continue to do for us fans. Much love.
Oh, I didn't even recognize that was coming. Thank you.
Happy birthday.
It's
B.
Friday.
Happy
your birthday week.
Party
time.
Yeah.
I was not even paying attention. Didn't even realize that. Thank you very much. Much love to you.
We got Kareen up in here again saying, working in Orlando for the next week, and I won't be here to request an early birthday shout out for myself. Sadly, I'll be celebrating alone on Saturday.
Say happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy
birthday.
And we will
Birthday.
be there with you in spirit.
Word.
All right. All our positive vibes and energy to you this day.
And we got High Infinity up in here asking, can we call Cypress Hill CP or The Hill for short? Is that okay?
The hill?
Yeah, the hill works for me too.
What the hell you talking about?
The hell's that?
All right.
And we got Megan up in here saying, hey guys, been listening to Rick talk. Looking forward to reading your book, Rick. You sound wise and your story sounds interesting. When's the movie coming out? Peace.
Well, we hoping to be shooting this summer. Don't forget, though, do not go to Amazon. Go to my website, freerickyross.com. And also ask for autograph. I'll autograph it for you as well.
Oh.
And we got Dab Oopster up in here asking, is Sendog still driving that badass chopper?
Yeah, Lucinda. Yeah, I still got it.
Hey, let me tell you, that bike, the biggest pain in the ass in my ass. Okay, we've been how many weeks now we've been wrenching on that bike, but it's looking good, Senny. I got to admit, we did new exhaust on that bike.
Yeah, we're giving her a boob job.
Giving her
what
a
they
full
call it.
makeover, full makeover right now.
Yeah.
Hey, Trace, what do you call your bike?
I really don't have a name. I call it a money pit. That's
Just
what I call
the
it.
Money Pit.
The Money Pit.
Okay, why not just call it Money Pit?
Yeah,
There you go. That's her name right there.
Because correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know if you know this, Rick, but don't most folks in the world of riding have a name for their bike, and most of the time it's a female name? Yes.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most
They don't name
I mean,
after-
you
they don't
ride
name after
Sendog.
man.
Yeah,
They
right.
don't call him Johnny.
Yeah, no. Right or wrong?
No, you're right. And when I chose a name for my bike, I wanted like a country girl sounding name. And I saw something or heard somewhere somebody say Lucinda. I'm like, there it is.
Right.
So that's what I call my bike, Lucinda.
And Trace came up with Money Pit.
Like mine would be called like a gold digger or something
Kinda-
like that. You know what I mean? Oh,
Okay,
female
that's
name.
a great metaphor.
yeah.
That's a female name.
Gold digger. There's
Who-
a good
who would be-
Now that I can understand, gold digger.
That's the
I
new
like
name for
that.
my bike right there. The
Gold digger. All right.
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
that.
I
That's
feel you.
dope.
All right. Next.
And we got let's see here. We got Midget Mike saying, Ross, how was it working with Kevin Booth, the last White Hope?
Well, you know, Kevin, when we were doing the Great White Hope, is when I found out that Gary Webb got killed. Kevin was the one who told me that Gary had gotten killed. So Kevin, great. Me and Kevin are great friends. I look forward to doing things with Kevin in the future. Great guy.
And we got the people in the Twitch were asking, when you go to jail, what's it like being the new guy in prison? Is it scary for the first time?
Well, you better be somebody who can hold your own. Otherwise, you'll be somebody's bitch.
all those things you see in the movie is in respect to that.
Yeah.
That's real part.
That's real. I mean, when the new guys come, you know, they got the predators that are standing there watching to see which ones are gonna be weak. You know, they're hoping that some weak ones come through.
We got Gerald up in here saying, I worked with Freeway Rick Ross and the homie Corrupt at the Reserve nightclub.
Yeah. Shout out to you, man.
Rose.
Awesome.
And we got Jeremy up in here saying, question, be real. At one point, did you and Sendog realize it was going to be hard to continue the high tone in your songs for live performances?
It's hard.
At one point, did you ever think it was going to be too hard, like later on in life?
No, early on it was tough because I had no control of it. But when I got taught a certain technique of breathing and and whatnot and projection, the tone is not a problem. You know, we actually sound better today than we did back when we started.
I agree.
Yeah. Then that's hard. You know, because wear and tear on the voice, and if you're drinking a lot, which I don't do, especially biz, and doing whiskey and blunts like that, for a voice like mine, it would be chopped up if I'd continued doing that. But I stopped all that and got a technique down that helped me preserve the voice to be able to deliver it the way you hear it on the record. And I got control of it now due to this technique. And it took me, maybe a year and a half to get it down. But once I got it down, I kept sounding closer to the voice you would hear on the album. And
Insane in the membrane.
I strive to still be that, in terms of what it sounds like on the record to this day. There you go.
And we got Maury up in here saying, I tried RSO for the first time a few hours ago, and I am barbecued right now.
Yeah, the RSO, boy. Ooh, yes. Take you on the ride. That could be, this could be another skew into your menu. You know what I mean? You have the Ricky Ross oil, the RRO. You know what I mean? Are you crazy? People
I never thought I'd say this to Ricky Ross, but hey, I got a little something for you, man, downstairs. Okay?
Hey, because the RSO, a lot of people use it, and like it actually benefits them in terms of health and like healing and therapy and all that stuff. Like the RSO is really good. We use it for sleep. You know what I mean? Because it'll
I need that.
Sleep. Unless you fight it. If you try to fight it.
No, I want to sleep.
Yes,
I need to sleep more.
Yes, and it's going to give you the indication on when you should go to sleep. Because if you don't, somebody's going to have to carry you. I've been there.
Yeah, so I need that.
I tried to fight it.
Give me that. Give me that.
I got you. All
right. See, RRO oil or Freeway oil.
Either one, it don't matter. Just give me some.
All right. Next.
And we got Shawnee Rabbit up in here saying, Happy Tuesday, fam. Can we do a round of ohms for Rick and his future endeavors? I'll bring the Reiki. Y'all bring the bass.
Okay. Well, look, this particular crew of gentlemen, let's discuss this real quick. Right?
I got it.
You know what the ohms are?
Of course.
You've done them
Universal.
here. Yes.
Universal.
You know what the ohms are, right?
Vibration, right.
Trace, you know? Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
How about you?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, everybody's gonna join, yes?
Here we go.
All right, Rick, this is like a meditation. It's just a 4-loop meditation. You're probably familiar with it, right? So if you care to snap in, you could snap in, right? And the trigger word is, hey, chill out, man.
Yeah.
All right. Next time I want to hear you, son. I think I didn't fucking hear that.
No, I try to do it more Tibetan, like sub, with a lower. You guys were up there, man. You're like
Telepathy
choir.
doesn't work here.
All
All right. Next.
And we got a Wire Styler up in here asking, Send Dog, what was it like coming out of the Soul Assassin studio era and building ideas in this new multimedia era?
Yeah, that's a lot.
For someone stoned.
You know, for creative people, it doesn't matter what era you were in. Assassin's crew always everybody stood highly creative, highly competitive from one decade to the next. It's never changed. So if it was before like the social media era, believe it, we were making our moves and back then when the social media and everything came in. And nothing has changed. We have always been some go-getters. So I hope that answers your question.
We snap in quick.
There it is. There it is right there. Uh-huh.
We got Faya Ute up in here saying, salute to the entire table. Respect to the real Rick Ross. The truth always sounds better from the source.
Yep.
All the greatest to everybody. One love.
Word.
One love.
And we got Roger Dodger up in here saying drug dealers these days ain't low pro no more. He's saying they want to advertise everything on social media.
Mm-hmm.
They want their story told eventually when they get caught.
They'll get it told.
They can get it told. They have to tell.
Get it told.
They might not like it when they start telling it though.
Yeah, that's that part.
Yeah. You got to take the bitter with the sweet.
And that's the knowledge you're trying to give these cats these days.
Yeah, because it's a whole bitter taste. You know, they get a little bitter.
Yeah, I mean because it puts a pause on life.
Oh yeah. If you like women, forget about them. You know.
Oh man, Rick, like forget it.
That's real talk,
no,
man.
That's the way they do. When you're in the feds, you forget about women. Just cancel that out.
Forget about it.
Forget about it.
Yeah.
You just gotta sit it out.
But now they got phones in there though. Now I guess they be live and in there, so I guess it's a little better. You know,
Technology, man.
We didn't have all that when we were in there. You know, we just had to just remember.
Back in that time, it was based on memory.
Yeah, that's it.
Or cell phones.
Bet. Next.
And we got instant replay up in here saying shout to the highest show on the planet.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Much love to y'all.
And that seems to be it.
Word up. Thank you very much for all your interactions, your questions, and shout outs. We appreciate you. We appreciate the love and positive vibes that you send here. And we appreciate my man, Freeway Ricky Ross, for being at the table.
I appreciate y'all having me here, man. You know, just to be sitting in here with legends, you know.
And likewise, man.
It's a blessing, and you guys getting my story out and letting everybody know that there's a real, you know.
Yeah.
So just appreciate it. I appreciate the love. And again, everybody, go to my website, Freeway Ricky Ross, get my book. Matter of fact, if you put on there today that you saw the show, I'll give you a free T-shirt to go with the book.
Boom.
Deal.
What?
Double up.
Did you hear that?
Get up on
Word.
that. Get up on that.
Wow.
Today.
Yeah, so hit me up. Let's do it.
Always negotiating the sale. That's real good, man. Hell yeah. Keep it moving.
I like that.
You know, you pick up 2 books, you get a free T-shirt.
Yeah,
I like that show. Yeah.
that technique works every time.
Word.
Word up. You got any shout outs you want to give?
Man, I just want to give a shout out to y'all for having me on the show, man, and y'all keep doing y'all thing, and you know, to see somebody be this long in the industry and you guys just keep reinventing yourself, you know, and let me know that I can do the same thing. You know, it's encouraging to see other people that's doing it, and appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for having me on the show.
It's all love, man. You know, as you've been here before, I know you're gonna come back again because you're gonna have another project ready to.
Ain't no question.
I'm
I'm gonna come back with that movie when
Yes.
when Danny when Donald Glover agreed
Oh,
to
I
do
see
my
what you
part
do.
in the movie,
Oh, come on.
me and him gonna come back.
All right, bet. I'm with that.
If you need some bad guys for the movie, we right
Oh,
here.
you know, we definitely-
The Colombians, we
Yeah, we
need
definitely
that.
need
Or the
Colombians. We
Nicaraguans
need
or whatever.
We're gonna need that.
You need a peasant right here, right?
Word up. You got any shout outs you want to give?
No, I'm good with that, man.
Oh,
I
bet.
appreciate everything that you guys done, and just hopefully I can continue to be successful out here in the world, and get this movie done, and it's gonna be all right.
That's what's up, man. Leezy.
Ooh. Yo, shout out Ricky Ross for coming through, the whole crew, Sin, Doobie, Beezy, the Bird Nest. Yo, shout out to everybody on the chat. Go to my site, thepsycholessshop.com. If you're on the IG, follow me, psycholess.official. And if you want to have a drink, Psycholess Beats and Beer. That's my thing. And it's Tuesday. We're about to jump off with the mix. So right after the show, bing bong.
Bong bing.
Squeeze.
Bolton.
Shout the Insane Asylum. Thank you guys so much. Shout to Ray Morning Shot Films. Shout to the Dominator. And like Psycho Leezy just said, head on over to B_Real TV for the mix show. What's up, Trace?
Big shout out today, man. The table, it was a great show today. It was fun hanging out with, you used the word legends, definitely. Come on, Freeway, Ricky Ross, that's what I'm talking about. You guys sitting around the table every week, I feel like it's a privilege. Want to shout out to all my Instagram followers watch the show today. You can hit me at Trace Nunes on Instagram. But other than that, that's about it. Yee! Like that little yee?
Yeah.
I gave to you?
That's very Bay-like.
Yeah, that's real happening.
Glad you picked. Hey, see, the whole show. I didn't even get into it with you, and now at the very end is when you want to start.
Well, there was no time for that.
Sensitive.
All right, Doobie.
Big shout out to everybody here at the table, especially Freeway, Ricky Ross, man, legendary, of course, man, epic, and Sin, Trace, Les, man, B, Bolt. Javi, Dom, you guys are the best. Love you guys. Eitan, everybody. Word up, man. Just love you guys. And you can catch me on The Real Son Doobie on Instagram. That's it. Love you guys.
Boom, bang. Sin.
Yeah, man. Much respect. Love to everybody here. Rick Ross, pleasure to meet you, homeboy, and hang out and talk for a while. Big shout out to everybody in my hometown of Southgate. My man Evan at Greenspan. And something else I forgot. Yeah, that's it, man. Big shout out.
It's important to absorb knowledge when people are dropping gems, no matter where it be. Be on a podcast, on the street with your homie, an older person trying to give you something. We talked about it earlier. Sometimes you're not in a place yet to receive it. But if you are, keep your ears open and your radars on, because you never know when someone is going to drop some knowledge on you that will be useful to your life. Keep your mind open, y'all. Swallow that.
BeReal.tv